It's Thursday, July 25th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we learn more about the Barnstable Disability Commission and their important work. Planning and Development has some new programs for opportunity, and we discover how to take care of the Cape and Islands. Now for a look at municipal and legislative notes. Governor Charlie Baker visited Cape Cod on Wednesday, a day after the Mid-Cape was hit by severe thunderstorms and 2 tornadoes, causing damage and leaving tens of thousands without power. A National Weather Service damage survey concluded that 2 tornadoes touched down on Cape Cod on Tuesday, July 23rd. A long-lived supercell thunderstorm produced waterspouts on both Vineyard Sound and Nantucket Sound. One of these moved onshore as a tornado just west of Kalmus in Barnstable, Mass. It had a discontinuous path and lifted in South Yarmouth. The same storm produced a second tornado in Harwich a few minutes later. Straight line wind damage was observed in Dennis and in Chatham. We want to take a moment to say thank you to all the crews who have worked so hard and are continuing to work to clear out our roadways in the aftermath of Tuesday's weather. We know it will take a while to get back to normal. Your efforts on our behalf are greatly appreciated. To our neighboring towns, we hope you are all safe and wish you a speedy recovery. The Barnstable Disability Commission advises and guides the town of Barnstable and the general public regarding issues of accessibility in accordance with the Americans with Disability Act. We learn more from Commissioners Sabrina Kane and Linda McKinney. We hope you don't park in a handicap spot, but if you do, that money does go to good use. Joining me today, Disability Commissioners Linda McKinney and Sabrina Kane. You've got some scholarships to talk about, some openings on your commission, but first tell us a little bit about the commission and who you are.
Well, I am Sabrina Kane. I chair the Barnstable Disability Commission, so I'm a commissioner, and I also run the meetings and do scheduling matters for them, and I'm the point person for if you have any questions about the commission.
Excellent. And Linda?
Hi, I'm just a member of the commission. I came on because I'm quite interested in this area, have a bit of a disability, and I'm very excited to be on there because it's a committee or commission that really does good work and we have great meetings.
Right. So tell us a little bit about the work of the commission, Sabrina.
We're an advisory commission to the town, which means that one of our missions is, or one of our purposes is to advise the town council and town government departments, such as the Department of Public Works, about disability compliance. One of the other things that we do is we fund a lot of really great projects which benefit the citizens of the town of Barnstable. And the third thing that we do is we're an information source for citizens in the town who have any questions about resources. We try to connect people to organizations like the Cape Organization for the Rights of the Disabled or the Arc of Cape Cod, things like that.
Excellent. And when we talk about the Disability Commission and some of the work and projects that you do, we're going to talk about the scholarships that you've given out this year, but give me some of those other projects that you've been working on recently.
Well, recently we have been in touch with Capabilities about providing funding to Capabilities for a new fully accessible kitchen project that they have going. Jonathan Sproul is the new CEO of Capability. He has been fabulous. He's working with Davenport to create a kitchen which would give individuals with disabilities an opportunity to really, because it will be fully accessible, to really participate in cooking projects in a way that you normally can't with a non-accessible kitchen. We're very proud of that. We have voted to earmark some funding for them if Capabilities can raise the difference. We want them to be able to do some fundraising, but to give them some financial support so that they can complete the project.
That's fantastic. And when we talk about folks that have some either physical or mental challenges, you said that you really wanted to be on this commission. What's the satisfaction of being a member? I know you're looking for new members.
We are.
And we'll tell folks how to do that. But in your own words, how does it make you feel to participate on this commission, Linda?
Well, it means I'm helping everybody feel a participant of the community and also be able to give back to the community and to give back equally. I'm sort of leveling the playing field.
Right.
And I like to do that.
Excellent. So the money from a parking ticket, I understand, is if somebody parks in a handicap spot and gets ticketed,
Right.
this money actually comes back to the town of Barnstable's parking division,
Yes.
and then is used to fund some of your projects. Talk a little bit about the scholarships.
Oh, well, we've recently increased our scholarships to $1,250 to Barnstable students who are graduating from 4 high schools, Barnstable High School, Sturgis, also Project Forward at the community college, and now to Cape Cod Regional. And so we're very pleased to be able to give 6 scholarships this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And these scholarships, are the students with disabilities, or are they in the field of serving folks with disabilities?
They either have to have a documented disability, and most of them are disability students, or have to be committed to working with people with disabilities.
Right. And who are these lucky winners?
Okay, now I've got to get their names out. From Project Forward, we have Julian Smith and Kimberly Walsh. From Sturgis, we have Kyler Sullivan. From Barnstable High, we have George Cole and Tanya Taylor. And from Cape Cod Technical High School, we have Spencer Bulcelli.
Fantastic. So it seems like there's, from all of these different high schools, obviously, that these students, the money's, it's so expensive for college and for, higher education. When students apply for these, is there an essay piece, and how do you determine who gets these scholarships?
We actually use their counseling departments to look at our criteria. They have to be, local folk and meet all the other criteria. And we let them evaluate because they have access to their extracurricular activities and their grades and their recommendations from their instructors. And they do the choosing. And then they send the names to us. And we go through their names just to make sure there are no conflicts with anyone on the committee.
Right.
And that's how they're approved. And sometimes they do the awarding at graduation, and sometimes, like this year at Project Forward, we actually had little certificates made so they could award them at their special dinner.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I do know Julian Smith, who is an absolutely
Oh,
fabulous young man.
Oh, that's good to know.
He and his
That's a
dad
happy
are very good friends, and I had worked with Capabilities on some projects over the years. But, all of these folks are so deserving of this money. Tell us a little bit, Sabrina, about how people can get involved with the commission.
There are a couple different ways. You could attend a meeting. You could contact Cynthia Lovell and inquire about how to join the commission, which I would encourage anyone to do. You could also write us a letter and schedule a meeting with us outside of regular meeting hours, and then we would report on your comments, especially if for some reason you're not able to attend a meeting, either for accessibility reasons or time reasons. We just want to hear from you. We'd love it if you join us, but public comment is something that we really, really want.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Can I say something
Sure.
about the makeup
Yeah.
of the commission? We're all ages,
Okay.
various sexes, men and women, so that's not all just ladies.
Right, it's a pretty good mix.
Yeah, and all kinds of disabled folk and not disabled folk. So we really welcome everybody.
Right, and at the town of Barnstable, all of our towns, committees, commissions, and boards are really relying on citizens and residents to step up to the plate, to join these, to do some of the most important work there is.
Yes.
Anything else you want to tell residents about the commission and how they can basically help you?
We really looked for as much input as we can from members of the public, because a lot of the decisions that we make do impact Barnstable as a town, and there are varying degrees of that. We give advice to the town departments about accessibility issues, but of course they have other professional, the civil engineers and the architects also give input on that, and they're trained in accessibility. So we communicate with them, but we do defer to professional judgment, of course, in that area of our mission and what we do. But when it comes to the projects that we fund and the scholarships that we give out and the amounts, we really, I think especially, that we have a mission to serve the town of Barnstable, and we do our best, but the more input that we can get gives us more to take under advisement, more to talk about. We have very active debates in our group, as Linda will testify, and sometimes voices get raised and sometimes we get a little raucous. But that's because that's part of the democratic process, and that's one of the things that I really, really enjoy about serving on government, because it really gives me a feel, for democracy in action. It's cool.
It really is.
Civics.
How about you, Linda?
Yeah, the good old civics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is, as people look around in the climate of politics nowadays, when you say democracy in action, literally you can affect change at the local level.
Yeah, you can. It's a really exciting thing. You might feel like you can't control things that, are different levels of government and are just, outside your reach, but you could be a member of the BDC.
Excellent. Thank you so much for both coming in this
Thanks
morning.
for having us.
Economic opportunities grow in the garden of planning and development. Elizabeth Jenkins joins us in studio for an update on 2 programs that will help the east end of Main Street grow. Opportunities abound for economic development in the town of Barnstable. With me today, Director of Planning, Elizabeth Jenkins. Elizabeth, so many opportunities, so many things happening. Give us kind of an update. The last time we had you on the show, you were heading to Washington for an Opportunity Zone workshop.
That's right. So this is a very exciting time for economic development in the town of Barnstable. We have some great partners who are working with us. Last time I was here to talk about an opportunity we were granted through a group, Smart Growth America and Locust Developers selected 4 teams throughout the state of Massachusetts to participate in an Opportunity Zone Academy. So basically looking at the federal designation, Opportunity Zone designations around the state, which is an area where investors are encouraged to essentially park their capital gains so they can defer some of those taxes. The idea being to invest in local communities and local businesses, to keep patient capital there and to help communities grow while providing a great tax benefit to investors as well. So Hyannis has designated one of these opportunity zones, our downtown and our regional commercial center. So we've been working with this team to understand how we can leverage that designation, and how do we put the right planning and regulatory tools in place so when we are matched with developers who want to do great things, we're essentially setting the table for them to go. So I spent a fantastic weekend in Washington, D.C. with really experts in the field of zoning and transportation and private developers, really talking about how to make all those stars align in Hyannis. And the next steps on that are they're actually going to come here to Hyannis and Barnstable, meet with our community partners and start to develop sort of a place-based strategy around economic development and the Opportunity Zone here in Hyannis, Barnstable.
So those opportunity zones, let's kind of want to maybe frame this a little bit more, because we have more news today.
We
but
do.
to frame this a little bit more is to understand the ability to work, play, and live in a particular neighborhood. Now we look at the east end of Hyannis, ripe for development. There's some old buildings there, but the RTA is there, the Cape Cod Hospital is there. So talk a little bit about how those opportunities work together with revitalization.
Yeah, so an area that we've been really focused on, a geography of the town of Barnstable, is this area of East Hyannis, because very sort of unique center of different energy coming together. You have the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, so it's sort of the hub for public transportation on the Cape. You have Cape Cod Hospital, they're really our sort of job and economic hub downtown. You have our walkable historic business district, of course our ferries to Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket that brings so many people through here. But right now it's sort of a place where people pass through. As we talk to these partners that are all have a physical presence in the district, you really see sort of a strong and shared vision start to emerge about a place that provides intergenerational opportunities, somewhere that's again walkable, has those sort of healthy transportation choices available, has jobs accessible, and has the opportunity because there are sort of underutilized and disinvested structures to be able to support additional things like housing development on a wide variety of spectrums. So you get this sort of exciting vision come together for a neighborhood with a really good jobs housing balance that can be close to so many of the fantastic things that everyone loves about Hyannis and Cape Cod.
Right, and it's also, Willow Street right there, that'll be redeveloped in another couple of years as well. That gets you right over to Route 6, so everything seems to be converging at the same point.
Right, so the town, yeah, exactly. The town's making a lot of investment in this area. The MassDOT project, again, on Willow Street, Yarmouth Road. We've been working sort of in the early planning stages on a streetscape for East Main Street. We have a couple of sewer development projects that are happening kind of literally underground and behind the scenes, but are so important to support development there. And then Planning and Development has been working on a zoning initiative for downtown Hyannis to look at, how do we streamline zoning for multifamily residential development in our downtown Hyannis growth incentive zone. So I think the idea is that we're sort of layering up all these different incentives on the sort of economic development side, making sure our sort of regulatory structure is in order, and then that the capital infrastructure is in place, and the sort of coming together of all these things. We're excited about the private investment we hope that brings, and we're already starting to see in this area of Hyannis.
Great. And then you just got off the road from New Bedford,
I did.
and you have some exciting news.
We do. So we have a great new partner. I shouldn't say a new partner because
Right.
they've been alongside us, but sort of playing a front and center role is the town of Barnstable was the Lieutenant Governor just made an announcement that we are going to be a new participant in Mass Development's Transformative Development Initiative program. We call it TDI. And so TDI is a program that's run by Mass Development around this idea. We all know what a sort of a business accelerator is, that somebody has a sort of a great startup idea and you punch a little capital in there and it gets them going. The idea around TDI is that it's a place-based accelerator. So you have a good group of partners together, like we do in the hospital and the RTA and the town and the business improvement district, and again, some private sector partners who have a presence there as well. And you sort of match them up with resources and technical expertise to help a place take off. They basically TDI was sort of restructured in the South Coast because we all, we share a lot of challenges with other places in the region. So we will be hosting what they call a TDI Fellow. So again, sort of an expert in this place-based economic development work who will be with us 1 to 2 days a week to meet with partners and to help get projects off the ground.
Right. So let's talk about this placemaking. I think the concept has probably been around, but it seems that it's a new vernacular out there. Really kind of break down what placemaking means.
Sure. So we think this is sort of a one piece that I don't want to say we're missing, but that we could certainly go a lot further on. So the idea is that, again, there's these pieces that people don't see, the infrastructure that is needed to support the development, the regulatory structure, but then there's the way people experience a place and its public spaces. So you know, when you go visit a place and it has sort of a strong sense of place, you can tell you're there. It has a brand, an image. And when people are in their public spaces, there are things happening and they're activated. This is the idea of placemaking, that it's more than just, you know, it's more than just doing sort of the regulatory side of economic development. It's really about bringing places to life. And a perfect example of this is our High Arts program and our Artist Shanty program that we run down in Bismarck Park. You know, the idea is that, again, you're sort of engaging artists and engaging the community and activating public spaces. That's a perfect example of placemaking. So how can we take that idea and sort of spread it out across Hyannis to really create vibrant, livable neighborhoods for people who visit here, but to attract people to want to live here as well.
So I'm curious, how does TDI work with that Locust program? Will they work independently, side by side, or intertwined?
So they're different organizations, but I think it's great because they're sort of focused on the same mission, which is place-based economic development. So I think it's a really exciting sort of coming together of resources and experts, again, in these, you know, in the field of sort of planning and economic development coming together. So we, you know, we're really looking forward. Like I said, I feel like we have all the pieces in place to sort of marketing them to investors and being able to see real transformative type of change in Hyannis.
Right, and I think as the fall comes into this vision and the stakeholder pieces will start to come in a little bit with people giving, you know, public and investors coming to look at Hyannis.
Exactly. So, you know, it's sort of broken down on a project by project basis. We've done a lot of sort of outreach, again, around things like streetscape. We've just started an effort with the Hyannis Civic Association and people there around Ocean Street and sort of rethinking that. So yeah, certainly if downtown revitalization is something that folks are interested in, lots of opportunities to sort of get involved and have your voice heard coming up.
Excellent. Our future's so bright.
It is.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Paula.
The Take Care team, along with Barnstable Municipal Airport and Cape Air representatives, were on hand to greet JetBlue's arrival from JFK during the inaugural event in June. We discover more about how you can become involved in the Take Care initiative and to view the first Take Care messages on Cape Cod displayed at the airport.
We wanted to find a really fun way to encourage people to do the right thing, to take care of the special place that we love. And I learned about the program in Tahoe, California, and it seemed perfect. You know, they had already created all these fun assets that would speak to someone from age 2 to 92, not, you know, make them feel like they're being scolded and told what to do, but really just to kind of stop them in the tracks and make them kind of chuckle and hopefully think.
And why start here at the airport?
We're here at the airport because they're doing some great things already. They're really concerned about the environment, solar panels and that kind of thing. But we also wanted to introduce it in a public place where we could greet people that are arriving. So we thought one of the JetBlue flights that's coming in from New York would be a great way to do that.
What was the reaction of some of the passengers getting off the plane?
Oh, I think they were confused. They were excited. You know, they're like, sure, great, give me a water bottle. What's the water bottle about? And tell us more. So that's why we invited them to come in and learn more about what we're doing here.
Today, with the Take Care campaign, is just take care of Cape Cod. You know, we provided water bottles to the incoming flight for JetBlue today, and just to remind them that, you know, treat our home like your home.
And when we think about the airport as a place to launch an initiative, why is that important to the town of Barnstable?
Well, you know, the town of Barnstable is really multimodal, especially in the summertime. We're receiving a lot of visitors that are coming to Cape Cod. You know, if they start here at the airport, they're usually taking some type of bus or a taxi or renting a car to get to and from where they want to be on the Cape. So it's a good starting point to get any type of message out there to the traveling public that we have different initiatives on the Cape, and the Cape is unique.
And what are some of these initiatives that residents and visitors alike can take to care for the Cape?
Oh, simple things. You know, bringing your own water bottle, which is why we gave them out to people as they got here. Instead of buying single-use water bottles every day, fill it up. Think about pick up a few pieces of trash, you know, when you're out, instead of just walking by it, or just you know, if something blows away, stop them in their tracks and you know, go back and pick it up.
And this initiative is a subset of what you do within your organization every day.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, CARE's mission is to inspire stewardship to preserve the natural environment, cultural and historic places, so it fit in perfectly. And what's great about it is that it's a true collaboration of a lot of organizations and businesses on the Cape. It's not just us.
And where's your next stop?
The RTA. Yeah, so soon the messages are going to be seen throughout the buses and on the transportation center.
Excellent. Anything else you want to add that I didn't ask?
We just launched a crowdfunding campaign because we can't do this on our own. So we encourage people to go to our website, takecarecapecod.org, and support us.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Up next, things to do, places to go, and people to meet. The 7th season of the free, fun, family-friendly Love Local Fest kicks off on Sunday, July 28th. This community event features local makers and the small businesses that sell them food, purveyors, beer, wine, and hard cider, kids' activities, and music from local bands, Melik Moon at 12 p.m., the Dirty Water Dance Band at 3 p.m., all the while overlooking the beautiful Hyannis Harbor. Comments, suggestions, accolades, connect with us on Facebook, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works. For you, I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.